Okay, welcome everyone to my review of Stellaris. This is one of the latest games from Paradox Development Studio, and it's done very good for them. I just found out recently that it I think they sold about 200,000 copies within the first week, so quite a lot. Yeah, it's done very well for them. So I wanted to do my review, kind of give you guys my take on it, just in case some of you guys are like wondering, hey, should I get it? I can give you my take on it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is this utterly beautiful galactic map. This is my first pro. I'm just going to jump off right on the list, and this, I mean, is the first thing that stands out. It's really beautiful the way they designed it. It's nice, it's very nice, smooth in terms of zooming in and out. It's just they've done a lot of work to it. One other cool thing that I like, another pro that I would have to put in, is the way they design these galactic borders. They kind of they work well. You know, like I was kind of expanding here, and I made a couple of outposts, so it kind of moved my border from like around, I think it was around here, and I made a couple of outposts here and just kind of pushed in and kind of melded these two borders together. It's nothing big, but I kind of like that. Nothing's overlapping. Everything is just right. I like that. So that's my first pro right off the bat. The second I would have to jump in is the user interface. It's clean. I like that. It's not too much garbage. You know, a lot of games just throw user interface everywhere and it clogs up the actual content of the game, which is the map, right? This doesn't. It's kind of takes some cues from Hearts of Iron series, where you have the menu on the side here, and it really is beautiful. It's nice and slim. I like that. Even the ship design, it doesn't take up the whole screen, just this quarter, so you could still kind of see what's going on, especially if you're playing a game while making a ship. Very nice, very clean, very efficient. I like that. Even when you're selecting like a unit here, clean, nice, efficient. So that was my second, actually third pro. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go down the list here. All right, quick learning curve. This is something I noticed right away when playing the game. When I did my first impressions, I was like, I literally jumped in the game and I'm like, okay. And within minutes, I already kind of got the basics of the game and I was already playing it. I didn't have to like spend an hour trying to figure out, or a couple hours trying to say, oh man, what does this do? How do I do this? How do I get there? I didn't have to do that. It just worked. And I like that. They put time and effort into this game, figuring, all right, let's make this intuitive so anybody can jump on and play. And that's key in a game, because you don't want to have the player sitting there and be like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like some games I'm currently playing now, I'm still trying to figure things out, and it's just, it gets frustrating. Quick learning curve really sets the game up. Next, let me jump into soundtrack is really nice. I like the soundtrack. Let me increase this so maybe you can hear it. Kind of adds that drama feel, and it kind of gives you like a space kind of vibe, almost like a sci-fi TV show kind of thing. That little dun 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 reminds me a little of Star Trek. Maybe they got inspired by that. I'm also going to have to jump into the cool backstory here. So, going into the backstory, I thought this was only a 4X game. You kind of expand and, you fight these guys and you become, the United Federation of Planets, or you can become the Klingon Empire, or whatever you want. And I like the way they kind of did this, with the Earth symbol in the center, kind of almost like the United Federation of Planets. So anyway, that's another thing. This is really cool. I found this really awesome thing in my little situation log, where it talks about artifacts from a first league, a confederation of alien races that existed millions of years ago. And I'm trying to find out who they are, because like the cool thing about it is like, if we can find enough relics from this civilization, it may be possible to pinpoint the location of their home world. Which is like awesome. So if I find their home world, well, I mean, like, what will what will be there? Maybe some kind of fantastic device that can increase the power of my government, or add stuff to my ships that make them impervious to the enemy. I mean, just the thought of it is like. So that's the first thing I did. I was like, there was a research base. I think it was in this system here, which is why I took it. I forgot which one it was. I think it was. Oh no, it was this one right here. So I sent a ship there, and they only found a little things, but it's really cool. Like I'm kind of like in a race trying to figure out where this homeworld is and more about this race, and on top of the 4x capacity of like expanding and working with other empires, I'm kind of like, all right, I gotta find out who these people are. And it kind of reminds me of a Star Trek episode where like the Federation, Klingons, Romulans, and Cardassians, I forgot the name of the episode, but they were trying to find the original race that kind of sparked all the other variations of humanoids in a TV show. All right, let's see what else I can jump into. I got a lot of pros here, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I do have to tell you about this race here. So I settled this planet right here in Cirrus Prime, because it was one of the few worlds that I can actually, colonize. It has about 80% habitability, so I was able to colonize it. So about, I don't know, like probably years after I colonized it, I'm growing this colony and stuff like that, I noticed I got like a little event saying that there are tremors going on inside the world, and that there are reports of an indigenous life form inside the planet that is burrowing its way to the surface. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So obviously the first thing I'm doing is I made a defense army, because I was like, dude, I don't know, these guys are gonna like come out and destroy us all, kind of one of those sci-fi movies. Tremors, I think, is the movie. So the cool thing is, I was able to set up communications, and I'll post a screenshot of that, of what of what I saw, and I'll post it right about now, so you can kind of get an idea of like what it looked like when I saw the event. So I set up relations with them, and now I'm like, there's my colony, and then there's this species that lives on this planet, and we're like working together, cohabitating the planet. I think this is really cool, and it kind of adds a society output, which is kind of cool. I like that. But I had to mention that because it was really, really cool. It kind of like, I literally had to pause the game, and I was like, that's sick. I had to say that, because it was just like, it was really cool for them to think of that. They put a lot of effort into this game, because something like that is really cool. Another pro, because like one after the other, guys, just one after the other. I'm trying to find them. Maybe is it this? No. I'm probably gonna get, no, this is it. So the cool thing is, I've run into these Stone Age primitives from time to time, going through all these systems. Like, I discovered this system, and then it told me like, hey, there's an event. We found this indigenous species on this planet. They're Stone Age, but they're primitive. And the cool thing is, you can actually set up outposts to like observe them as they grow. I thought that was really sick. It kind of reminds me, going back again to like a Star Trek episode. There was like a Minnetonkins, or I think the name of the episode was First Contact. But basically, it was like they were observing this race that was transitioning, from like Stone Age to like, I don't know, Gunpowder Age, Medieval Age, whichever. And it was really cool, considering like, we're out in space. I already have 5 planets. I just added these 2. And like, I can observe this new race coming out, and I want to see what happens. I want to know if they'll actually colonize, if they'll actually become, an actual race that develops and becomes their own like empire, kind of like me. And eventually, like, as I grow, perhaps maybe when they become spacefaring, this system will be kind of like this. They'll be their own little empire kind of thing. And I haven't played the game far enough to see that, but it would be really sick if that actually happens. I think that would be insane, because the possibilities would just be insane for a game like that. It would be like just awesome. Let's see. Maybe I should show you. Yeah, let me show you guys. Let me go to. I wanted to show you something. I'm not gonna save this, so I'm not gonna disturb my my thing. But I wanted to show you one of the pros that I have is the unit animations for this game, because they're really good. Like, you can see where's my fleet? Oh, there we go. So some of the animations are really cool in this game. If I can. So, really cool. I like it. I'm going to show you some of the battle animations, which are kind of cool too. Wanted to include that as a pro, so you guys can kind of get a look.
Anomaly found.
So this is like one of the special events. I'm going to lose, but I hope the game doesn't record my... So look at that. Like, I'm firing nuclear missiles at them. My guys are not going to win, though. 8 days, emergency FTL is ready. I don't think they're gonna make it. Yeah, there goes my fleet. I just hope it didn't record that. Anyway, so you gotta look at the beautiful animations of and the combat for it. Something I wanted to include. I think I'm covered all the. Oh, okay. I got two more pros. Some of this, one pro is I really enjoy the special events. Communication with that indigenous life form on Sirius that I showed you before. That was a really cool special event. Also, you get special events like there was, one of my science ships says, "Hey, by the way, we were in this system. We found these guys. They're like long gone, but like here's some technology left around, and it kind of helps out." Little cool things like that I noticed, and there's some other cool special events which I did enjoy. The last pro that I have, which is a lot, I already lost count at this point. The last pro that I have would be that there's a concept in this game that I really like, and I just noticed it in my last gameplay. So, you have these guys who research the, oh crap, I didn't realize she was done. Alright, cool. That, I'll do this later, but anyway, these are your, kind of like your engineers, your researchers. Now, one interesting thing is the stars determine like how good they are. Like a 2 means like, hey, I just got out of school, I'm pretty good. Versus like Paulina Vasquez, which I use very often because she's 5 stars. Like everything she does, researching technology, is like very quick. She's like the Yoda of science. So I use her a lot. The only problem is, as you can see, there's an age next to her. So the problem becomes that obviously she doesn't live forever. So one thing that is becoming a driving force for me in this game is like, all right, I need to make sure that I invest in technologies that prolong life, because if they can, like, if I find like eventually Hildy is going to be, she's actually pretty old. Well, I'm not saying 49 is old, but let's say she was 29, right? If I invest in technology that expands life to like 200, and she's like 5 or 6 or 7 stars, I mean, my research is gonna like balloon out, which is really cool. So it's something to drive for, instead of just like, all right, well, now I got to use Hildy because Paulina passed away. And I can tell you, it makes a big difference when you're doing research. Like, she's 2, I'm at 111 months. So is he too. Interesting. But anyway, it'll help you with your research and stuff like that. And there's certain things like I was showing you guys before, like this research camp that I researched, that I showed you guys before. I could only use somebody that was a scientist type 5, that had 5 whatever star experience to research these ruins. So having them around, you need them, you know. So I'm really looking to prolong lifespans because of that. All right, let's dive into the cons. And I don't want to like say these cons are bad. They're not. They're really not bad. They're just weird oddities. One thing that I'll tell you right off the bat is like, first con that I would say, why is there two different armies? There's an assault army and a defense army. Why can't there just be one army? I don't understand that. I understand like one's better at, well, obviously defense, and another one's better at assaulting, but I don't understand that. You know, it's kind of like, does our U.S. Army have a defense army and a offensive army? No, it's just an army. It can do both defense and offense. They're kind of trained in both. It just doesn't make sense to have two armies. I don't like that. And it'd be kind of cool. I haven't researched it. Maybe there'll be more popping out. Maybe like a tank army or something like, but I haven't gotten that far in the game yet. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was I found this indigenous life form, which was sick, and I was able to communicate through like one of the special events, and I was able to talk to them and stuff like that. But the only problem is I can't talk to them again. Like, I can't like communicate with them. So like, you know, like they're not in here. You know, like I communicate. I can't. Where is it? Species. So they're not anywhere in here that I can communicate with them. So until like another special event comes out where they contact me, and every so often they do, I can't do anything. It would be really cool if I can communicate with them because they're on that planet. It would be really cool if I can continue communications with them. And same go, and this is kind of part of the same con, which would be like, why isn't where was that guy? There we go. So these guys are like proto humanoids, right? Stone Age primitives, right? And I would love to have like a central location where like I can see like, you know, you could have Galaxy maybe like primitives. You can click on here and kind of give me a location where they are. Because a lot of times I know what these guys are here, but there's like 3 other ones that I have no idea where they are. I know I ran into them before, but I have to literally go like this. Where are the other ones? Oh, there we go. But like, why can't I have like a central list? Maybe I didn't find it yet, but I looked around and I was just like, where is this? I went through here. I was like, is it in here? No. It'd be kind of cool if like there was like a list, you know. I'm hoping these guys blossom to like actual species because like, you know, the possibilities of that would be sick. Alright. Another con that I have to like put in, guys, is the amount of hostile alien races. Like the battle I showed you before was with these, I don't know, whatever they were called. You can go back in the video, but these space amoeba, or you know, there's life tree protectors and ancient mining drones. I mean, there's a lot of them. As you can see, like another one. I mean, there's a lot of them in the game. Like, I was surveying systems, and like I would say 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 just had it. It was just like, man, there's a lot. So I just thought maybe, you know, it'd be nice to have like one here, maybe one down here, just not so many like on top of each other. I didn't like that. And all being hostile too. Like, it'd be kind of cool if some of them would be like, hey, you know, like friendly, you know, you can establish relations with. Alright, one thing that I wanted to change, I was hoping would happen, is the planets, like Earth and whatever, all these planets don't move around the sun. And I would have to put that as a con because it would be awesome if it did, you know. For, let's say, Earth moving around, and you have the moon, and you have Jupiter, and then Saturn, and Neptune all moving around, it changes the way the game plays. because, and I know some of you guys are like, well, how would it change the game, if it played? If, like, for example, there was an alien space fleet that was massive that was coming down here, and I set up a starbase here on Earth and by the moon, and let's say by this planet and by Mars, let's pretend Mars is here. And if they came around here, I can have all 3 stations fire at them. So, like, for example, let's say you're an enemy player, right? And you have all these 3 planets together, all these military stations, like, compacted in one zone. Obviously, that's going to be, like, a really bad target, right? Because you're going to get slaughtered. Maybe we'll wait, like, I don't know, a couple of months when Earth is here and, Saturn's all the way down here, and then Mars is over down here. So if I come, I could pick them off one by one, or I can just go straight toward Earth. It'll be months before those planets kind of align to take advantage of that, combined space station armada kind of thing, So it would be really cool. It add a new dimension to the game, I would think, Alright, I'm almost through all my cons, so I'm just going to run right through them. One thing that I found really weird, I don't like, is there's no, like, space tech tree for this. So this is your tech tree. This is it. I would love to see, like, a Heart to Iron 4 or Civilization type of tech tree where I can be like, okay, well, if I invest in this, what's the next one after this? Is it going to give me warp thrusters or whatever? Like, I want to see the end result, or, like, at least an idea or a glimpse of what investing in this technology is going to give me next, I would love to see something like that. Because, like, right here, whenever we finish research technology, 3 new options will be generated. Well, tell me, give me a hint of what those options are going to be. Because, like, if I invest in an engineering facility, what down the line can I get out of this? Like, maybe, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something, like a nuclear sun facility that's going to give me, 100 million energies, something crazy. Like, I want to get an idea of what I'm investing in. That would be kind of cool. And I have no idea. I just have to go based upon this. And if I invest in ion thruster, I might be missing something. Can I even change this? Yeah, I can. But I might be missing out on something else, like something after this that might be really cool. Anyway, let's see what else. I think that's almost it. All right, this is probably it. Oh, two last things, guys. Promise, and then I'll let you out. So one other thing that I noticed is, I probably have it now because I just researched the technology. Now, so the problem that I have with this is a con for me. I can go into space. I can make space fleets. I can colonize worlds. I can build mining stations. I can do that. I can't clear a jungle. Seriously? It's the 21st century now, and we can do this. We can clear out the jungle today. This game is set in the future, a couple hundred years in the future. We can't do it then? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why can't I remove a jungle? We can do it in 2016. I can't do it in 2231. Did we, like, unlearn that? Is that even possible? Like, I don't get that. It just bothers me. Like, I can't, it's just, obviously you can't clear a mountain range. Well, really, I can't? I have ships that can obliterate entire worlds. I can't clear a mountain range. Okay, whatever. Okay. Just kind of weird for me. I don't know. And last but not least, and this is not like a big problem because this is the beginning of the game and stuff like that. But I've noticed, like, I've run into some territorial species. Like, some of these guys are real, what's the word? Some of them are not kind. Some of them were, like, just downright like, hey, get lost, kind of thing. And I was just like, all right, chill, like, relax. All right, actually, some of them are being nice now. But before they weren't, like, they were just, like, real not good people. And there was, like, no conflict with them. I haven't yet to. I've been playing this game for hours and hours. There has yet to be one war between me or anybody. Yet there has yet to be one war between anybody. Like, the worst these guys did, because I moved to these 2 planets here, they were like, all right, look, I'm closing the borders to you, dude. Just because, you know, what you did is not cool. That's the worst. You know, like, there's, I don't know, I don't know, it doesn't, like, these guys were mad at each other. I forgot what they did. They cut off relations or something like that, but that's it. You know, there was no skirmish, there was no, like, serious, like, before I moved down to this area, they could have, like, I'm surprised there was no, like, skirmishing in these systems between these two, you know, like, you know, when you have 2 nations that are on the border with each other, right, and they're pissed at each other, stuff's gonna happen. There's gonna be tension along the border, you know, it's gonna spark stuff. But, you know, I have yet to see a war or anything break out in terms of conflict. The worst we have is, like, these little space amoeba and Life Tree Protect, whatever, all these guys. So, I mean, it's not a huge con, but it's just something I noticed. I'm like, man, I've been playing this game for hours and hours and hours, and it hasn't been one war. And it kind of takes away. It's like, all right, I wonder if there's gonna be a war, you know? I don't know, it's just weird. And that's it, guys. And the only wish list that I have in my head, which I would say probably 2 things. One, I hope these what do you call it, these indigenous life forms, I don't know, this might happen, but if it's not, I hope it'll be on my wish list. I hope these guys become their own little their own race, their own culture, and their own empire kind of thing. That would be really cool. I hope that happens in this game. If not, please put that on a wish list. And the last thing is nothing, like, seriously big, but one thing that I if I could, like, offer to the developers is one thing that I really like. You have the strategic map, right? And then you have the tactical map, right? You can go in between, right? It would be kind of cool if you can combine both. So, like, for example, I could zoom out like it is here and get the whole universe or galaxy, right? And then zoom in, and as I zoom in, the planets kind of break apart to go to galaxy map without me having to click that. It just automatically goes into this view, and then as I zoom out, it automatically goes into this view fluidly, kind of like Google Maps. You know how, like, if you could view Earth from space, and then you can kind of zoom all the way into Brooklyn, you know, and then zoom right back out, and it's nice and fluid. It doesn't break up. I think something like that would be really cool. It kind of gives you a level of immersion, like, let me go here, whoa, and then go right into the system, and then zoom right out without having me go over here, then clicking this, and then seeing that, and then clicking that. It's like it'll take out 2, 3, or 4 clicks, you know, rather I could just use a scroll wheel and just go up and down, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it. Honestly, guys, this game is a pleasure to play. It's incredible. I played so many hours in this game, and as you can see, I'm not even a quarter of the way through it. This game is going to take probably months, if not longer, to play. And I did that intentionally because I wanted a big universe. You can make a smaller universe and then finish the game quickly, but I like long games. So if many of you guys like wondering, well, should I pick this game up? Is it worth I think it was $40 last time I checked. Should I pay my $40 to get this game? Yes, I really do. You know, if you know, especially if you're not into space games, then obviously, you know, then you're probably not watching this review because you're not interested. But if you have an interest in space strategy games, this is an amazing game. This is a really cool game. I like that. I like the map. We were going through all those pros. I really like finding that indigenous race in series. It kind of breaks things up, and I'm hoping there's more surprises. I'm hoping, like, one thing I'm looking forward to is like a wormhole I want to find that I can go from here all the way to maybe this side of the galaxy, and kind of like almost like a Delta Quadrant kind of Voyager kind of thing, or thing like that. But that's about it, guys. So if you have any reservations, like, hey, should I pick it up? Honestly, if I dropped $40 on this, if I didn't know anything and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot, spend $40. Honestly, guys, I would be really, really thrilled because this is a game that offers a lot of replayability. And it's a game that, you know, you can have for a long while that you can play and just sink hours and hours of enjoyment into. And I really do enjoy this. So that's it. That's my review, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. See you then.